Hlobele mgama ke mbukeli singene kuphononongo lwencwadi. Ugqirha Mmatheo Motsisi wazalelwa waze wakhulela kwilokishi yaseSoweto. Ukwangumbhali ke kunye nomshicileli wencwadi yakhe ethi ODYSSEY of the HEALER, esekwe kuhambo lwakhe olungomoya kunye nokuzifumanisa. Uquletheke ntoni le ncwadi kwaye ithini okanye uthini umyalezo wayo? Ukuva ke ngakumbi ngayo sinaye ugqirha Mmatheo Motsisi ulapha estudio. Gqirha, masikubulise sikwamkele enkqubeni.
Ngiyabonga mntanami.
Ninjani?
Cha sikhona.
Nathi siyaphila apha ekhaya jikelele kusekhaya likhaya lakho neli wena gqirha. Ndiyathanda into yobana sifumanise ngesihloko, that is the title of this book. Yintoni mhlambe yakhuthaza itayitile yale ncwadi?
The book is based, ngizokhuluma ngesingisi nangesizulu, okay?
Akho kwangxaki, khululeka.
If the audience they don't have an issue with that. Incwadi is based on my spiritual journey. From an early childhood, mangikhula, I realized ukuthi I had a special calling. Like most of us, lapha, we find that we have a calling. So you go through different ways to find yourself. So I went on a spiritual journey, exploring different ways of coming to know myself. Ngizazi ukuthi ngubani. The questions I was asking myself was, who am I? Ngubani mina? And what's the main primary purpose ukuthi ngize la emhlabeni? Because I realized ukuthi there were certain things mangis bigger and coming to understand myself ukuthi there are some differences ngihlukile ngenye indlela. So it was an exploration of knowing myself and then working with other healers, Abo Babu Credo. Another person who contributed a lot in coming to know myself, the late Professor Herbert Vilagazi, whom the book has been dedicated to.
Wow. I must say that you have worked with custodians of African spirituality. I mean, when you mention the likes of Otata Ukredo Mutwa, and I mean, what you've just touched on, Uti, who am I? Dieda Paul Ndogbana sisihloko sokuqala kule ncwadi uvula ngaso, the importance of knowing your identity. And ngatsho gqirha Ndogbana, we live in a world where abantu bezidefine ngendlela, especially looking at materialistic things. Umuntu mhlawumbe as-define ngokwezinto anazo. Why was it important for wena into yokubana ugxile kwi-knowledge of self? Who am I ndingubani? Basically your spiritual identity.
You know, we all come and enter into la emhlabeni. Umntana mekezalwa. If you've been into a labor ward, they come with their hands closed. It means you come into this world, you enter into this world carrying your gifts with you. And you come with a purpose to go to izandla zakho uzivule and contribute to the welfare of others, la emhlabeni, and also to your well-being. So that question came because I realized ukuthi akekho umuntu ozala la emhlabeni by mistake. We all come with a purpose, and once you find your purpose, waking up in the morning, it's no longer a burden. Uyavuka and you're doing what you love the most, and it brings pleasure. You're not caught up in the red race. Most people are caught up in the red race, and baphila impilo based on the ideology and the perception and probably the programming of other people. You need to know yourself so that you become, I wish I had the Zulu word, but you can translate. You need to know yourself, uzazi, so that you become the architect of your own reality. You become the architect of your own reality. Instead of people dictate to you, hamba kanje, yenza kanje, pegale, jigale, yabo. You become, you build your own world. You don't allow others to build the world.
Yes.
Within this world that we live in, there are other worlds. It depends ukuthi umoya wakho uvuleke to that extent ukuthi you can see beyond your sensory. You know, when you perceive things, You perceive things fed by your sensory experience. It just gives you a tip of an iceberg. What you perceive fed by your sensory experience, which means your eye, what you smell. It's just a tip of an iceberg, because within the world that we live in, which we think it's a reality, it's just a tip of an iceberg. There's more into it. But amehlo kafanele ukuthi avuleke.
Ndikuva kakuhle ngesixhosa uthi uyingqonyela, that is, you are the CEO of your own reality.
Yes.
Ndikuva kakuhle, and kule nto ithethayo into yobana you are not limited by what your physical senses are showing you, because you look beyond that, which is the spiritual eye. I want to touch kwenye womba othe wawuchaphazela kule ncwadi othe wanvisa kakhulu. You speak about ukuhlonipha ihlabathi jikelele, that is Mother Earth. And I mean zizinto ezi singathi into yobana zijongelwe phansi njengokusitsho into yobana thina our focus is only this world esicinga uba mhlawumbe iphelele, kanti there is the other world. Why was it important for you to highlight into yokubana siluluntu, we must pay homage, we must respect ihlabathi, we must respect Mother Earth? Kuba ndiyabona uvule nangaye the goddess of rain uNomkhubulwane.
May I read the poem from the book?
Please, with pleasure.
The poem was written by Professor Herbert Vilakazi. So I did say that, okay, I don't have my glasses. Will you read it for me?
Hey, okay, I will. Goddess Nomkhubulwana, sing, oh ancestors and Goddess Nomkhubulwane, the story of Africa and humankind. Sing, ancestors and Goddess Nomkhubulwane, the story of Mother Africa. How Africa gave birth to humankind. How this lady, Mother Africa, raised and nurtured infant humankind. How Mother Africa gave strength, culture, knowledge of goddess and gods, and knowledge of good and evil. How Mother Africa gave a drum, dance, voice, laughter, music, and play to humankind. Ndifuna nje kuyimisa le ndawo so that bayifumane le ncwadi bayirhabule bayive. Wow. Ndiqhubeke?
Wema.
Sing, oh ancestors and Goddess Nomkhubulwane, the untold story of Mother Africa and humankind. How some of her children grown to adulthood left Mother Africa for distant corners and far regions of the world, and the changed skin color, hair, and size of nose and lips. Sing, oh ancestors and Goddess Nomkhubulwane, how some of these children grown to adulthood, having forgotten their original relationship with Mother Africa, came back abused, heaped contempt, and violated their own mother, and like maiden Ajax, chained, drew blood, killed, and took their own brothers and sisters to be slaves in distant lands.
It's a very touching poem, and even more appropriate now when you consider what's happening globally in our planet Earth. By the way, our planet, Mother Earth, it's called the blue pearl, because around our planet, when you view it from the sky, Pezulu, it has a blue aura. So it's called the blue pearl. So when you look at what is happening in the world, there is so much that we are made to believe, Uguti, there's a lot that divides us in comparison to that which unites us. If you understand, Uguti, Africa, the motherland, is the cradle of humankind. Noma baphume lapha Africa bagcwala all the continents, all of them, they trace their roots and origin from their so-called Mother Africa. Irrespective of the skin color, the nose and everything, and the race and everything out there, that is creating wars and division and tribalism, racism, whatever you want to call it. At the end of the day, Simunye, we are one. Because we're all born and we all emerged from the continent Africa. During the period of Gondwana, long time before the continental shift, all planets, our planet, it was only one continent. And at the center, the heart of this planet, it's in Africa. The heart of this planet is in Africa, Africa where humanity was birthed. So why should we be divided and believe that we are divided based on skin color, gender, race, nationality? So that's the crux of that point.
Profound. I mean, you speak about a lot of things. Izinto ezenza into yokubana singabumbani singama-Afrika kodwa sinto enye. I mean, this is the information gqirha endibona into yokubana kungaba kuhle kakhulu if it can be included in our history books, especially looking at ezikolweni abantwana bafunda history, but you look into yokubana i-history abafunda ngayo i-history yamanye amazwe. With this book, I know that you want to enlighten Africans, you want to bring them to self, to know themselves. And phakathi kwezinto ongathi mhlawumbe uye wabe kanti uyayibhala le ncwadi, what is it that you are hoping to achieve? Iminqweno yakho kanye kanye ithini?
I'll just respond to powerful words of wisdom that you've just said. Would you wish these children could know our history? Remember, maybe we need to go back to who writes the history. History is written by victors, those who go around and conquer. They will write the history and make you believe that their history, which they write about you, that's the real history. So maybe we should be talking about the change of the education, which is used to actually program and make us think that as an African, we should look down on ourselves.
How do we break the barriers? How do we decolonize the education?
When you know yourself and you know who you are and you know your purpose and you know your origin and you are not fed by the stories out there, you reclaim your power from within because you know yourself, because the power doesn't lie out there. The power lies within you as an individual. Everything external is meant to program you. And when you are programmed by something outside of yourself, you'll serve the master who's programming you.
You speak about reclaiming our power as the African people. You've written this book. I want to talk about the reception. You know, I mean, abantu abathe bayirhabula bayifinca le ncindi othe wayibhala kule ncwadi yakho bathini umgama okanye indlela ezithe zavuleka ngayo ingqondo zabo?
I wouldn't be able that will have to be somebody speaking about me.
It will be like you are blowing your own.
Yes, I mean, Ubaba Credo contributed also in my own journey, the late Ubaba, which I pay homage to so much. Ubaba was instrumental, and Ubaba Credo always emphasized Uguti. If we can wake up, savuga. When I talk about African, please people understand, I'm not talking color. If you know your origin, it doesn't mean being black means you are an African. If you know you belong from Africa in a sense that Africa is the cradle of humankind and we are all one and we are all united, and you understand your origin, you will reclaim your power. It has got nothing to do with race, gender, or nationality, because at the end of the day, sizalwe from the same womb. And because of the climate and everything and migration, we change. But at the end of the day, when you notice that the one whom you regard as inferior to you based on skin color, because yours is a little bit fair, it's wrong, because at the end of the day, what made you fair is because of the climate. Less exposure to the sun. And then those were more exposed to the sun. So at the end of the day, which womb do you emerge from originally when you trace your roots?
Uthetha apha ngobawo uCredo Mutha. We know that, I mean, he advocated for African spirituality.
Yes.
Through his prophecies, through his art. But it's so sad because he even said that a man like me is never loved. A man like me is never respected. Do you feel like as Africans we are shying away kwezi voices that speak to us as Africans? Because if you look at uba uCredo Mutha, ngenene nangenyaniso imbali yakhe zange ithathelwe ingqalelo, kwaba ngathi ubhubha kwakhe ubhubhile nje. I-prophecies zakhe zange zilandelelwe. And ndiyathanda into yobana usirhobisele kuba kule ncwadi yakho, how do you address the pandemic of mental slavery that continues to hinder us as black people to reclaim our power and also honor those who came before us?
You've said a mouthful. Firstly, I'll address the first part. Ukuthi Ubaba Credo was not given the respect or recognition. There's a saying, a prophet is never a prophet in his or her home country. You'll never be recognized where you are born. You'll be recognized outside your home country. And that's it, and that's the norm. I don't even think I'm recognized in my home country. I'm probably being recognized more outside my home country. So that's the norm. So when moments are into, you should not be seeking for recognition.
Yeah.
Deliver the mandate, do what you came here to do, and don't seek recognition, because umhlaba will never give you recognition. But when you know your purpose and your mission and your mandate, you'll be aligned with the higher purpose and the plan of the universe. And you will deliver accordingly, because you here as a beacon of light. You come here, you are not seeking anything outside yourself, because you already have it in you.
Profound alignment. Once you know your true self, your identity, everything we align. Thank you so much for joining us. Ngenene na ngenyaniso nababukeli ngiqinisekile into yokubana bazawuthanda ukuyifumana le ncwadi. Mhle kakhulu umsebenzi owenzayo. Hayi ke mbukeli lo besithetha naye nguye ugqirha Mmatheo Motsisi, ongumbhali ke nomshicileli wencwadi ethi ODYSSEY of the HEALER, esekelwe kuhambo lwakhe lwasemoyeni kunye nokuzifumanisa njengesiqu. Hayi ke mbukeli ekhaya jikelele, siziqela ke siziqonqotha ngolo hlobo eza namhlanje, sibambe ngazibini ngokuba usekunye nathi. Masithi ke qhwi pha evenkileni, qiniseka mbukeli into yokubana awuhambi ubukele ekhaya, sesizawuvala kodwa.